Hello everybody and welcome, it's VeDAN here. So glad that you can tune into another video. Today I'm going to show you how to make 35,000 for tier 1 and show every single little bit of micro that I did to do this. So hopefully it's nice and clear. This is not fully optimal, but it's pretty good and you should be fine. So for round 20, a 0-2-3 marketplace and a dart on last, and we let the balloons leak and we should not get a penalty, okay? It just pops the black ones and then all the rest leak, but we'll be good. Then we get Quincy down and a boomerang down on last as soon as we can. Don't change his arm pathway. I always do that by habit, but you don't need to. Then start upgrading him to 202. So I'm going to get the top path first, so he's 200. Then I'm going to get 202. At the end, okay, you should have got Quincy's ability to be able to cool down. Use that ability, it'll pick up all the pinks, and you should be good to avoid penalty. Now, for 22, I changed the dart from last to first. This, for some reason, made quite an impactful change. It made it a lot easier to avoid leaks. So then that's all you're going to do. Just have the dart now on first rather than on last, and you should be good. And you should also now have a 202 boomer, and we can start proceed to upgrade some farms. So we're going to remove, just on that left hand side, the bit of crops that only cost 175, okay? And yeah, like I said, once you get through these initial rounds and everything's good here, now you should be okay. That's kind of like the hardest bit. We can let the camo balloon leak on round 24. You won't get a penalty. And then your setup now will just absolutely destroy these blues, okay? You don't need to worry. Now, what I'm going to do with these farms is we're going to get a few 200s. I'm not sure what's more optimal to get a few 200s or marketplaces, but I've done both and the difference wasn't that great. So notice that I've placed it so it's far below on the square. This just obviously allows us to get another farm above it. But I've also placed it to the left-hand side. This is so that I can fit an alchemist there, because I'm kind of thinking ahead and I'm going to want to get an alchemist to help pop leads. Also, use Quincy's ability at the end of 25 on these purples to avoid a penalty, and everything should be good. For 26, the thing I found easiest to avoid leaks is to actually set the boomerang's target to strong rather than on last. And if everything goes to plan, I do believe this should be an easy way to avoid having any leaks. So as you can see here, I just managed to pick it off with some lucky RNG. So it may take you a few tries. It took me, you know, a couple of hours, honestly, trying to play around with a strategy. And then I finally got one where I could do it all in one run. So yeah. Then in the meantime, we set it back on last, and now we're going to start building another farm to get it to 200. We're going to actually, at the end of this round, just get it to 100, so we have enough money to be able to place an alchemist, because obviously we want to avoid a penalty during the lead round. Now I'm going to use Quincy's ability when we have this big rush of yellows, and this should ensure that you don't get any leaks and everything should be good from here. You should just have enough money to be able to place an alchemist. And if everything's gone right, okay, so I was a bit nervous here. I was thinking, oh no, have I not got enough space? But just at the top, I managed to have enough space. So you just need to make sure that your farms are placed very leftwards. Is that a word? I think it is. I'm going to say it is. Yeah, so you're just going to place them as far left as you can, set him on strong, and then get him to 100, and that should do the trick. He'll pop the lead off them, and then your remaining defense should easily clean up, okay? So next, we're going to go for a third 200 farm, and I'm also going to keep the alchemist down just until round 30, because obviously round 30 we're going to get another rush of leads. So he's just serving a purpose here to help us easily pop leads and ensure that we don't get a penalty. I'm sure there's more optimal ways to do it, but this is an easy way, okay? So if you're a casual player and you end up with 35k on tier 1 with this annoying startup, I think that's a great milestone to aim for. So as you can see, all I'm doing here is just making sure to go and get our next farm, and we don't have any problems with our defense. Like I said, it's just the dart on first, boomer on last, and Quincy on first, and everything is good to go. So at the end of this round as well, you should, because we're going to sell the alchemist, you should easily be able to afford getting another 200. Then we're going to sell the free dart and replace it with an engineer. The goal is that we can get a balloon trap for round 34. That's always what you're aspiring to do. You want, after the camos on 33, they can get a balloon trap on 34. So we're just going to proceed to upgrade him. And luckily, this is going to provide a nice bit of defense for us. So we're not going to have to worry about any leaks here. If things get a bit scary, you've always got Quincy's ability as a backup now. There's not really any particular reason to use it, but if you want it just to be safe, I'd say go for it, okay? So I know some people have been debating whether you should use Quincy or not and bother with a hero, but for me, I think he's a good investment because it means that we're just sorted for camo. And also he does, provide a decent amount of popping power, and I do like his arrow storm ability for the later rounds. So to me, he seems like a worthwhile investment. Maybe not the most optimal, but it makes life easy and serves a good purpose. So I think there's nothing wrong with that. So we're just going to keep saving now, and we just want to hope that at the end of round 33, once we sell the boomer, we have enough to get a bloon trap. That's always the goal, okay? You want to be able to sell the boomer and have enough to get a 0 to 4 engineer. Now, at the end of this round as well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Quincy's ability. It's probably not needed, but I always do it just to make sure that the remaining ones do not leak. And as you can see, with $23 spare, I can get the bloon trap. Now, to ensure that you have a bit more money than this, if you place down the farms quicker than what I did, you could get a couple of ticks from them and be, like 60, 80, 100 ahead. So don't worry too much. Just aim as hard as you can to make sure you've got your bloon trap fully set up. Now, the art of using the bloon trap, it's not really too complicated, okay? You want the bloon trap to always be out of range of where the engineer can fire from so that he's not going to be taking away any of the pops. And then the rest of it is just make sure that he engulfs and absorbs as many of the bloons as possible, and that none of the pops are going to other means. So none of the other towers are popping it, the engineer's not popping it. You want pretty much all the bloons to be absorbed into the bloon trap. Also, if you're doing solo, please make sure, because I'm not going to show it every round here, but I showed a brief glimpse of it there. At the end of the round, all you want to do is exit and reload. And what this will ensure is that you have instant a redeploy of the bloon trap, and you can collect from it instantly. Now, things aren't always going to be super optimal, and it can be really hard to get the most perfect timings. So just be sensible and try and think, if you ever have a huge cluster of balloons in particular, make sure that the bloon trap is getting all of them. Also, sometimes you need a bit of luck, okay? So if something goes terribly wrong, just reload the game, and hopefully you should be able to do well. Now, so I'll show what I mean a bit more here. On 36, I want to make sure that the bloon trap picks up every single pink balloon. I don't want the trap to explode, or pop, sorry, when there's pinks that are traveling in it, because then we're going to lose some money. So I'll kind of make sure that it's redeployed at a time so that it gets every single pink balloon. And then Quincy can do the camos, okay? In the meantime as well, I've started upgrading the farms from 200s to 203s. So hopefully during 37, we can get our third 203. And also, with the bloon trap, it just comes from knowing the rounds a little bit. So I know that on 37, I'm going to get some leads, okay? So I'm actually not being optimal with the bloon trap here at all. But because I knew I had some leads, I made sure that during the whites, I made sure to redeploy it so that it's ready for the leads and it can take up every single lead balloon, okay? As you can see, it just didn't pick up that final one. It exploded there, but I'm not too worried about that. At the end of 37, you get these camo whites, use Quincy's ability, and you'll have no issue there. And now it's just going to be a case of saving up. So again, on 38, we're going to have to deal with some leads. So we're just going to have to make sure that we redeploy it at the right time. So I'm going to make sure that it actually redeploys during these lead swarms, and it's like an instant redeploy, because it's not going to be able to take all of them up in one go, I do not think. Maybe it can actually, I'm not sure, but I usually always just do a little redeploy like that. And I'm not fully sure why, but sometimes you have an instant redeploy and sometimes it takes ages. Always try and get the instant one, because otherwise it can be super, super annoying. And we just managed to pick up that, and it explodes right at the very end of the round, which is lovely. And then it's just a case of, again, doing the exact same thing for 39, and let's see how much money we can make. Now, this kind of will highlight the strength of the bloon trap, because I'm not using it optimally here whatsoever, but I'm doing it, like a casual optimal strategy. I believe that we'll actually be at about 11k by the end of this round, okay? 11k of saved up cash. Now, obviously, the marketplaces are contributing to that, but that's a good load of money coming from the bloon trap itself. So that's why you really, really do want to incorporate him into your strategies. And the better you can time his bloon trap, the more better you're going to do. And for early rounds, every little counts, okay? So I'm just going to reload it so I can get an instant redeploy of the bloon trap. And let's go and see how much money we have saved up. Like I said, the hardest bit is the initial rounds, because that's when there's micro involved. Then the rest should be quite straightforward. And as you can see, upon selling everything, we have 35,000, and this is more than enough for you to be able to afford your spike storms to get during round 39. So I hope this has helped, and I'll see you guys very soon.